welcome to our usual horrors. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today we're going to be playing through the game Locked Up, where we've decided to go into the woods with our dog to hunt some mushrooms. For quite an ordinary adventure, until we decide to go into an uncharted territory. Early autumn, what does it bring? For some, it's a time of harvesting potatoes in the garden strewn with yellow leaves. For others, it's never-ending rainstorms, melancholy, and boredom. For me, though, it's mushroom hunting. I've been mushrooming each fall for as long as I remember. It's a sort of a family tradition, I guess. I got the taste of it thanks to my grandparents. We used to forage together when they were alive. This time, I take Ida, my dog, to keep me company. Oh! She occupies the back seat and sometimes puts her head out of the window, helping me watch the road. It's not the first time we have travelled like this, so she is calm and obedient. What a good girl she is. We still have a long way to go. I plan to visit the part of the forest that my grandmother loved. She warmly called this place the Mushroom Paradise. That's where we used to forage together. It's been many years since then. I'm on my own now. To brighten up the trip, I had asked a couple of friends to come along. One, however, backs out just the night before. And just when I think about it, my phone rings. I pick it up, continuing to drive. Okay, we're not gonna mention that health and safety risk. Is this my second friend backing out? Hey, I'm really sorry, but we won't join you today. What? Are you kidding me? You guys are always ready for hanging out outdoors, but not when it comes to mushrooming, huh? But we're swamped. We really are. Hey, don't gloom over it. You can buy the mushrooms in a store, so it's not a big deal. Oh no, I'm still gonna go mushrooming. It's just you are no longer coming. Yes, say no more. Traitors. Please don't take it so hard. It's just that we really can't go. Okay, no hard feelings. Well, I'm driving, so bye. See you later. No, couldn't you have backed out a little bit earlier? I mean, I'm physically on the way there. Distracted by the conversation, I don't notice another car overtaking me. I turn the steering wheel as sharp as I can. What did I tell you about the health and safety risk? We are causing a hazard. The road hog whistles past at breakneck speed, leaving behind an echo of screeching tires. Oh, that was a loud thunk. I dodge successfully, but suddenly run into a bump, and the car jolts. Something inside its body shakes violently. The dog whines in fear. Why the hell did he swerve to my lane? The son of a... Okay, oh, easy, Ida. It's okay. At least I hope my car's not damaged because of that arse. Irritated, I exhale loudly and squeeze the steering wheel, leveling the car. The jolt sobered my thoughts and forced me to keep my gaze fixed on the road so that no one else would try to run us over. The road becomes even bumpier than before, with large holes and cracks in the asphalt, and now I cautiously avoid them all. How did this brain-dead racer speed up on such a road? Oh God, it sucks. Why do I have to do it on my own again? Why couldn't we just get together and enjoy each other's company? Like, pick a ton of mushrooms and then have another day off dealing with all the stuff and having fun? Like we did last year. You can buy them in a store. What on earth will she find there? Champignons? Pickled honey mushrooms? Or maybe she'll get something on that street market from a nice old lady and get sick. Right, Ida? The dog looks silently in the rearview mirror. I didn't know it was such a big deal about picking mushrooms. Honestly, I wouldn't know which mushrooms to pick. I'd probably poison myself. There's not even the point. Oh God, I just wanted to hang out with them for once. Better turn on the radio. Maybe there's something nice on there. There is no chatterbox in this ancient Soviet car that I got from my grandpa. Instead, I use a portable radio. Old-fashioned? I guess so, but it suits me just fine. So we continue on our way, listening to Bilan, Valeria, Maxim, and other popular singers. It seems that luck is on our side again, soothing us with upbeat pop music. Suddenly, the broadcast pleases my ear with the band Tattoo, and then, with a Zemfira's song requested by a listener. The fluffy pines are interspersed with rows of birches and other rare deciduous trees. The bushes are starting to lose their leaves from the cold. They run past, mingling into a single mess. Sometimes, I notice narrow curves and ruts with cars already parked on them. Mushroom season is summoning all mushroom hunters, but not my friends. I glance enviously at a group of people walking into the woods. I wonder if they are about to forage or just have some fun, maybe both. When I recognize the road, I turn to the right curve, accompanied by a haunting tune. As much as I want to enjoy the music a bit longer, I have to turn off the radio. Here we are. Get up, Ida. She's ready to go. The dog joyfully sticks her tongue out, her black ears perked up. She jumps out of the car as soon as I open the door. I set out to search for mushrooms with a bucket and a knife, and the dog cheerfully rushes forward. We better not lose that dog. I would be so upset. It's a beautiful place. The woods always have their peculiar charm, especially when people didn't get to litter it with empty bottles and other trash. Surprisingly, this area is almost clean. Though still, someone has already thrown a tire on a branch, seemingly marking the forest as their property. All of a sudden, the memories come back to me rushing. I remembered this place. I haven't been here since my grandma passed away. When I realized how unbearably quiet my apartment was, I adopted Ida. This adorable furry creature gave me the strength to move on with my life. Dogs indeed require a lot of care, but that's just what I needed back then. The responsibility for this pure and vulnerable creature didn't let my inner demons take over me. Now it is impossible to imagine my life without her, without that sweet, gentle sunbeam who filled the hole in my heart. You know, I love dogs. Like, I'd love to have one, but I don't actually think I'd ever want to own one. I just like spending time with them without the responsibilities. Then again, it's kind of like parents. I love the kids until I have to look after them full time. I could have left her at home, but I would feel bad for locking the girl in the apartment. I'm delighted to see her frolicking in the fresh air and throwing branches and leaves around in a joyful dance. After all, she patiently waits for me from work 5 days a week. And on top of that, it's dangerous to walk in the woods all alone. That's why I feel safe with Ida. We go deeper into the forest. The dull sky watches us passively above the tree crowns. A sweet smell of autumn and pine bark fills the air. The dog wiggles around me, tracking scents. Occasionally, when she sees a squirrel, she presses her paws against a tree and starts barking softly at it. Ida has as much fun as she can, while I search for mushroom caps. However, so far we have met only a couple boltuses and one unwelcome fly, a garrick. How strange is that? I thought there would be more mushrooms out here. Well, apparently, I'm not the only one who knows this place. Oh, we're too late. It's been picked over, huh? Now I notice some freshly cut mushroom stems, here and there. What a heartbreaking sight. Maybe we'll find something if we go deeper. Ida, come! This seems like when things start going to wrong, when we get deep into the forest and I have the potential of getting lost. How unfortunate. It was my grandma's favourite place to pick mushrooms. I remember how we used to walk here, filling our buckets to the top. Am I too late? I stopped to cut off a couple of butter mushrooms and let them sullenly join a handful of their cousins. Even reunited, This bunch does not even cover the bottom of the bucket. Ida gazes into the distance, wagging her fluffy tail. She sees someone. I turn my head and look in the same direction. Well, someone had certainly been here before us. It's weird, though, that I haven't noticed any cars, but they might be parked somewhere further away. Looks like there's nothing for us to do here. Everything comes to an end sooner or later. I recall walking here as a child with my only family. A deep sigh breaks from my chest. I call Ada and rub behind her ears to push aside the bitter memories. It's okay. I'm not giving up that easily. As long as we're here, we'll keep looking until the end. Till the bucket is full. No, until both buckets are full. Yep, I agree, Ada, so you better get scouted. The dog looks at me adoringly, listening to my promises with her tongue out. Well, no matter what I tell her, it's just a dog. She'll follow me anywhere and won't mind that. Unlike some people. Oh, I am not happy with my friends, am I? Ida patiently waits for me to stop petting her. Cheered up, we go back to the car. I put the bucket by the side of the seat and reach for the bag to take out our supplies. The ride took an hour and a half, and I lost track of time entirely during the meditative stroll. I was too busy to notice my growing hunger. First, I fill Ida's double bowl with water and dog food. Then I place a road map on the hood of my car and start planning a new route with a sandwich in my mouth. It turns out that we don't have many options left, but I still hope to spot at least one unremarkable trailway. It's pointless to try and look at finding anything near villages. The locals should have emptied all of the forest within the reach and sold their halves in the street market. Yeah, and the street market. That's where they hoodwink people like Laidu to buy their inedible mushrooms. I am still not going to give up and entertain the idea that this whole trip is pointless. Yet at this moment, I'm on the verge of showing the white flag. If I swallowed my pride, I could patch things up with Lauda, and we would make some fried potatoes with the simple harvest that I managed to find. Although I really like spending time outdoors with Ida, I don't want to come back empty-handed. I can't think of anything. For now, we can just drive forward and then we'll see what to do. Suddenly, I feel something touching my leg. It's Ida bumping me with her nose. She had finished her meal and now is waiting for us to hit the road again. She wags her tail and looks at me amicably. I pet her. The plan is simple. If we see no cars nearby, we stop and take a look, right? Right, I'm glad you agree. Right, Ida, down. I let my dog into the car, where she settles on the passenger seat and lays down obediently. I start the engine and we drive further on the main road. I turn on the radio and simultaneously check the gas gauge. That'll do for a while. I don't think we'll drive too long anyway. You know what? Lauda probably thinks that since I went mushrooming, I'll bring her something. No way. I'll tell her she should have come with me. Okay, I'm joking. Everyone loves to have fun, but they're always busy when it comes to something real. Out of the corner of my eye, I look at Ida through the mirror. The dog lays peacefully, raising her head every time the gearbox clicks or I address her. I am so used to having heart-to-heart conversations with her that it feels as if she understands everything I say. Ida is my only family, and she's a great listener. At least, she won't talk down to me or turn down an adventure. We'll be back late tonight, but that's okay, right? I just want to go mushroom hunting. Even in that half-empty forest I found enough. Enough for a small frying pan. But it's no longer a matter of profit. It's a matter of honor. Leisure interest, so to speak. I'll come back and prove all these cynics wrong. Now, much to my surprise, I don't see any cars at all. The forest gets thicker. As far as I remember, one curve leads to a village and the other to a small town. Driving past one of the curves, I notice a couple of funeral wreaths lying on the ground. Unfortunately, the sharp turn sign didn't save some reckless drivers from hitting a tree. The suburban winding track is like an amusement ride for some people. It fuels them with excitement and they rush to their deaths. Life frightens you with its sudden end. There's never enough time, and you just hope it'll keep working for you time after time. You are not like the others. I am not like the others. Lost in these thoughts, I almost skip a narrow gap dividing the woodland in two. Then, I see a strange road. At first sight, this concrete road is inconspicuous. It's long and lost between the trees, descending as if from a mountain. And most importantly, no living creature is seen or heard there. The road is overgrown with wild grass between the cracks. Looks like it has never been touched by wheels. There it is! I make a U-turn just to be sure I'm going to check that way. It seems that the road gradually turns left. We drive past some old bare utility poles. The place looks untamed and deserted, even though the road is clearly man-made. No one has been here for a long time. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I have a feeling that there's a bounty of mushrooms waiting for me. Even if it sounds stupid, I always trust my gut. Even Ida is concentrated on the scenery and presses her nose against the car window. She wags her tail, apparently sharing my joy. But suddenly, the radio fades away into a hiss. My blood runs cold. Ida barks at it fiercely. Damn it! I turn the volume down and try to find a decent wavelength, but in vain. Irritated and scared, I turn it off. Ida, quiet! It's just a bad signal. Trees are too tall and there are mountains all around. It should be the reason. I finally managed to park after collecting myself and comforting Ida. Okay, I take it back. Us wandering into the forest was not the first sign. It was definitely the radio crackling. It's all going down here from here. Ida is getting impatient. She scratches at the door until I let her out. Straight away, she starts exploring and marking the area. I peer into the woodland. The dense forest is sullen and lifeless, with the crown sheltering it from sunlight. Distorted trees are bathed in shadows, dancing grotesquely in a thundering silence. It smells like a rainstorm just ended a minute ago. Apparently, no one has been here for days, or even years. There are no tires, no signs of a campfire, and no trash at all. Looks like no one takes any notes of this part of the forest. We went too deep though, Ida. The nearest town or village, basically anything. Yeah, it's quite far away. So what I'm hearing is if we hurt ourselves and we can't drive away, we're screwed. I realize that the road isn't marked on my road map. It's strange. There's a road, but it's not on the map. Okay, it must have been some kind of temporary trail, and no one needs it anymore. I looked at this abandoned concrete road again. It goes far and still gradually turns left. I can see only a small part of it. The rest is lost in a wreath of foliage. And further down the descent, no large gaps, meadows, or buildings are visible between the tops of the pines. I grab my bucket and knife again and go into the mysterious forest. I nearly jump out of my skin when I hear a branch cracking and grass squishing. These sounds seem deafeningly loud in the dead silence of this place. At this very moment, a bitter thought goes through my head. I'm all alone here. I take a deep breath and try to cheer myself up. No, I'm not alone. I'm with my dog. Why would I care anyway? I bet there are no predators in this vicinity. Or are there? Anyway, I won't go too far. Hey, Ida! Everything will be alright because you are with me. The dog turns to me, wagging her tail with joy. As long as Ida acts calm and casual, I feel courageous. I move forward, a sign of relief escaping my mouth. I hadn't seen a forest like this for quite a long time. Undergrowth and wild, poisonous berries cluster in the coolness and the airlessness under a dense shelter of leafy branches. Some trees have their trunks curving and crooking. I had only walked a short distance, but Ida is already sniffing a stump overgrown with honey agarics. I take a closer look at the bushes and curved tree roots and notice penny buns and chanterelles. Looking at the scenery, I remember a documentary about anomalous zones, which I had watched a few days ago. I shouldn't have watched such crap before the trip. Now I wonder what creepy stuff I'm going to imagine here. What, are you kidding me? That's the best time to watch those shows. Oh, say, it's like watching any scary movie with the lights off, every door open. It's just the perfect creepy atmosphere. Before I know it, my bucket is half full. I still want to explore this strange place though. It's so quiet that even my footsteps and the rustling of leaves are lost between the branches. No beasts and no birds are seen or heard. The magical feeling of discovery grips me, and the mushrooms I see here and there only fuel my excitement. Suddenly, Ida freezes, her ears perked up. She's listening. Before I can do anything, she rushes into the dense bushes. You had better follow the dog. Ida! Ida, come here! What's wrong with her? Is she chasing a squirrel again? I quickened my pace to catch up with the dog. After a while, Ida returns, holding a dark object in her teeth. It is rotten, hard, wet, and it doesn't look like an animal at all. Hey, don't you ever run away! Do you hear me? No running away! Oh, I know you're a good girl, you just scared me. What is it? I take the mysterious object from my dog. It smells like old rubber and dirt. It resembles a galoche, quite a typical one, which is worn over shoes so that they wouldn't get wet, though Ida brought only a part of it. What on earth does that mean? Did someone leave it here? But it should have been really long ago. I throw it into the bushes and wipe my hand on my pants. The dog is already going to rush after the rubber as if it's a toy. But I shout sternly, Ida, off! Come here! No, drop it. The dog stops, looking at me with resentfulness. Then she returns to me obediently. I pat her head. Don't pick up any crap here, okay? Okay. Looks like we can go further, right, darling? If anyone's been here, it's been a long time. And as there's really this much stuff, I'm gonna make this place my mushroom paradise. How about that, huh? There we go, we've cheered up again. Maybe we'll find something more interesting out here. Let's see. I pour La Boltus out of the bucket and let Ida sniff it. It must be strange to make her look for mushrooms like a truffle pig, but I decided to give it a try. Ida thinks I'm offering a treat, so I take my hand away just in time. No. Sniff. Seek, Ida, seek. The dog stares at the mushroom. Then she returns her gaze at me and whimpers miserably. Oh, have we not got any Scooby snacks? Here, Ida, seek. Help me. Ida starts sniffing the mushroom again. Then she dips her nose into the droopy grass and fallen pine needles. She wanders around for a while, sniffing the ground, then finds the trail and leads me, her tail wagging. That's my girl! Well done, Ida! We begin to descend a gentle slope, avoiding the steep part of the hill. Along the way, I find a couple more Voltuses, but the dog rushes forward as if she is following a very distinctive scent trail. Soon she leads me to a knoll at the foot of the branchy spruce, standing between the ferns. The knoll is studded with white mushrooms, the combination of which forms a semicircle silhouette from a fairy tale. But as I reach to cut them off, I suddenly run my fingers over some kind of branching threads. It looks like mycelium, a sprawling white-grey mass covering lichens and moss. It's a bit fuzzy, which makes it look like mold. I suppose these mushrooms are fine. I'll pick some and rinse them well at home. Holding a mushroom cap, I accidentally rip the stalk off the soil, pulling it out with a piece of mycelium and moss. Underneath them, I see something pale yellow. Must be the root. Now I cut it off with my knife, one by one. And as I reach for the farthest ones, I climb more and more up the knoll. Something crunches under my feet, not like a branch, and it certainly isn't a rock, but the crunch sounds loud and clear. I think for a moment that I'm climbing on something alive. I jump up. On the disturbed spot lies elongated bones. Moss, mycelium, and lichen envelop them in a strange way, like the skin of a mystical beast. Have I found some animal graveyard? I found the pet cemetery, that's what I've done. Something a forest spirit would wear in an old fairy tale. Feeling a chill creep up my back, I dig the unremarkable grave with my leg. Then I start pulling out chunks of vegetation until I can finally see what I expected. Oh, wait, are we sure that's an animal? I mean, I suppose it could be. And we can only see the spinal, so... Under the layer of moss, partially covered with lichen and soil, between the rhizome and mycelium, revealed the ribs, and then the spine. In front of me lies someone's skeleton. Part of it, to be exact. It looks unnatural, distorted. I'm not a bone expert, but the main feature that would clarify everything is missing. The skull and limbs are either missing or torn apart by wild animals. So wait, is this a human skeleton? Ida comes over to see what I'm doing. She sniffs the bones curiously. She's calm at first, but then she recoils, growling in displeasure. There is something she doesn't like. Ida, we're gonna die here. Am I gonna be buried next to the skeleton? Hush, hush! It must just be an animal. A badger or a boar? I pull the dog closer to me. If there's a boar lying here, someone must have killed it, and the killer must have been a predator, like a wolf. As I step back, my foot bumps into something softer than bones. It squeaks disgustingly under my heel. A galoosh. Another galoosh. Similar to the one Ida had brought before. The only difference is this one being whole. Oh, that is so a person in that grave. A shiver runs down my spine. Ida, let's get out of here. We're in agreement, huh, Pop? I back away. I want to believe that it's just a boar or some other animal. Yet I can't help thinking, what if it's human? I tried to soothe myself with any explanation, but fear and panic tightened their grip on my throat with each second. It's been here for a long time, and we haven't seen anyone so far. It means I'm in no danger. That's right. I can't be killed by a corpse. Can I? Ida? And if it's a human being, could it be that they were just dumped here ages ago by some gangsters to cover up a crime? God, it's better not to think about it at all. Yeah, and, well, those criminals aren't going to sit in the woods and wait for Shnizana to come and visit them, are they? They just got rid of the corpse in the middle of nowhere so no one would find it, and that's it. Perhaps the dog has her own opinion. She keeps sniffing, and it seems that her sensitive nose scented something once again. She tracks another trail. If Ida senses any danger, she'll warn me. She's a dog after all. Ida leads me to the ravine, and as we walk, I manage to calm down, as there have been no one and nothing scary along the way. There's no use in getting stressed over it. I notice chanterelles between the bushes, and my mind is getting distracted. But barely do I come closer to them when Ida barks anxiously somewhere down again, attracting my attention. Afraid that she is going to jump into the hole, I grab her collar firmly. Oh, you really don't like this hole, huh? Ida, no! Stand still! Growling, the dog peered at me first, then somewhere down. I had time to go through all the forest animals in my head while we were descending, but what was revealed to me could not be explained easily. It is hard to call it a natural ravine. It looks as if the ground had sagged here long ago, covering a strange frame inside the steep slope. And in the pit lies something that is hard to look at for too long, something disturbing. Branches and some rags are lying here, and everything is overgrown with grass and mushrooms. They are chaotically settled along the perimeter. I could see bones protruding from the grass. Open cemetery, damp, uncovered, either animals or people. But pieces of cloth, rotten shoes, and other objects foreign to the forest hinted at whom the body parts so densely wrapped in the plants belonged. And even so, I don't understand what exactly makes Ida so worried, and why she had brought me here. To warn me? We should get out. Let's go, Ida. Follow. I hurry the dog along, pulling her by the collar. Ida doesn't understand me at first, but reluctantly wanders beside me. Yes, girl, to the car. Screw this place. Greed still clouds my mind, so I can't bring myself to throw my mushrooms away. I managed to get a bucket full just before the place disturbed my mind and revealed in its horrifying side. I mean, would you want to keep those mushrooms? I mean, they sound like corpse mushrooms, I'm not gonna lie. After all, what did mushrooms have to do with all this? I'm not going to go home empty-handed. Who knows when, but something had happened here. Either some local animals or bandits had dumped garbage of all kinds into the ravine. Who and why? It's a mystery, but the mushrooms had nothing to do with it. I am afraid of getting an answer, so I chase these thoughts away. I just want to get in my car and get out of here. Come home, make some hot fries, lay on my couch and forget about everything. I imagine the warmth and the pleasant aroma of my cozy apartment, where the only sounds are the neighbors laughing or drilling behind the wall. I would turn on the TV to distract myself and watch an entertaining movie. I still have some cassette tapes left. I could watch Flubber or Richie Rich. We made it to the car at least. I pull Ida into the car and put the bucket under the front seat. I've had enough. It's time to get out of here. I'm not even going to call the cops. I'm going to pretend I didn't see anything. I don't want any more trouble. I start the engine, press the clutch, and the car conks out. Oh, we really should have checked our car after that, thunk earlier, huh? I repeat the process. We barely even move before the car conks out with a distinctive noise. Oh no! Why now? I get out the car to take a look at it. I lift the hood and smell an unpleasant, oily, slightly reeking of gasoline. Before I put my hand at it, I could feel the engine getting too hot in such a short time. Great! I'm sure I've checked everything this morning. I walk around the car and notice a leak. The oil trail is barely visible under the grass, but is also imprinted on the pale concrete. Perfect. This car is a damn wreck. I still have some motor oil left in the trunk. As far as I remember, it might be enough to get these metal gramps up to the highway, at least. But first, I have to wait until the car cools down, and then examine it more carefully. If the problem is something else, all my efforts will turn out to be a failure. The dog peers at me through the grass and whimpers. She is begging to come out, to be closer to me. Looks like we're going to stay here for a while. I open a car door, but Ida just keeps peering at me. I don't understand what you want from me. The car is broken. If I don't come home in time, I'll have to call my boss. Oh, I got an idea. I pull out my phone and call my acquaintance. After the first ring, however, it beeps and the call is ended. I walk around the car with the phone in my hand. I stretch it out, pull it closer, and lift it up. I even climb on the trunk and put my hand up to the sky, but in vain. There's no signal at all. Great. Just awesome. No car, no signal. I jump down with a frustrated sigh, trying to calm my nerves and not toss the phone on the ground. The sky is already darkening. The sun is sinking to the horizon, and the unfriendly forest grows darker and darker. The dense clouds are putting against the earth, getting heavier, piling up to the gloomy dome. It is probably warmer in the woods than here, on the concrete road. Now, when the cool evening air embraces me, I can feel the difference. I thought about walking towards the highway, but hitchhiking at night is too dangerous. It's getting late. Okay, we'll fix this junker early in the morning and hit the road. I give the dog some water and begin to set up my lodging for the night. I don't like the idea of sleeping here, in front of a dense forest with someone's bones lying in it. But now, I can't do anything about it. Inside, Ada and I crawl under a blanket, warming each other with our bodies. We soon fall asleep. I mean, I'm hoping we've made sure to lock the cars up tight, right? Or windows shut and doors locked. I don't know when I started drifting off. I don't know whether the long drive is to blame, or the stress, or both. But I remember a long, gentle slumber with no dreams. That didn't last long. Suddenly, I hear someone or something scratching at the door from inside. Ida? Half awake, I rise up and peer around. What woke you up, pup? It's just you. What's wrong? The dog is still begging me to let her out. You want to pee, don't you? I look out the window. There is nothing around but thick darkness. It envelops the vague, barely visible silhouettes of the trees. The blue-black sky is all covered by clouds, a dim moon and not a single star. And with it, the muffled silence and Ida's whimpering. Okay, I got it. Wait a sec. It takes me a while to straighten up so I can get up. Taking the flashlight out of the glove compartment, I open the door for her. She jumps out and I follow her. The dampness of the night welcomes me into its cool embrace. Ida and I had snuggled up against each other and breathed so much that the windows fogged up when the cold air blew in. I wrapped my arms tightly around myself, trying to keep warm. A while later, I wait for Ida outside the car, tracing where she'd wandered with the flashlight. Hey, don't go too far. The cold is getting harder. I wrap myself more tightly in my jacket, hearing strange sounds from the side of the thicket, like the crunching of branches. I direct my light into the assumed direction, but the light only meets a few crooked trunks. No one is there. The tops of the black pines sway in the wind, and again there are muffled crackling and rustling sounds. It must be the wind. It still doesn't feel right. What if there's a boar? Or a huge moose? Or what if it's a wolf? The longer I analyze the sounds, the more torment myself with fear. Every unexpected noise sends a sickening chill through my chest. The dog must have gone off into the bushes. She still hasn't come back. I lost sight of her. Ida! Ida, come! Ida, come here! I call her again and again. The silence grips me by the throat. It clamps its bony fingers ominously around my neck and seems to make it tighter with each attempt. Ida! I force myself to step forward, lighting the ground in trees and bushes. Ida! A rustling sound on the opposite side makes me shudder. I turn around, expecting to see a dangerous dark beast, but my flashlight illuminates the innocent face of my dog. Did you sark at me? Were you just messing with me, pup? My knees buckle in relief, and I almost fall. The fluffy prankster stands in front of me, wagging her tail happily, as if nothing had happened. Oh my God, Ida, you scared me. What took you so long? Okay, get in the car. Come on, get in. I make Ida climb into the car and do the same after her. The dog smells of the cold and damp nocturne forest. This naughty girl has her belly and paws dirty, which I realize as soon as I hug her. Ida made a mess on me and on the seat. But I can't help it. There is no place to wash up. I have to put up with it. No matter how dirty Ida is, I still love her as much as she loves me, so I don't scold her. I throw the blanket over us and hug her. I turn off the flashlight. And yet, after that night walk, I don't want to sleep at all. It seems that at any moment something will peek through the window. Something or someone whose eye was watching my back as I stood outside. This unknown creature's sticky and haunting gaze felt as if the forest spirit was watching an uninvited guest through the window. It was devouring me with gaze of its empty black eye sockets, as an undiscovered skull from the wilderness would stare. The creature was definitely made of bones, moss and mold, just like that skeleton that lies lonely under a layer of compost. I close my eyes at the thought and press my nose into Ada's warm fur. The familiar, lively smell is slightly comforting. I had never been in a situation like this before. Alone in the woods. Alone with my dog and in my car. Insomnia doesn't go away. I just have to wait until dawn. I look at the clock on my phone. It's 3 in the morning, so it should be light soon. I just have to be patient. I can still hear crackling and strange noises coming from the woods. Maybe it's the wind that is just swaying the branches, whistling between the trunks. I want to plug my ears. I want to fall asleep. Never had I thought that. Far from civilization, the sounds of nature seem so loud. I try to put myself into a positive frame of mind. I think about how Ida and I will find a way out in the morning. How soon we will climb into a bathroom and then have a nice meal. Or the other way round. Food first, then hygiene and sleep. But there is also the other side of the coin. I have to call my boss and ask for a sick leave, run to the clinic, ask for a medical certificate. Finally, I opened the snake game on my cell phone to get my mind off things. And so, little by little, I managed to wait for dawn. I mean, do we really want to be playing Snake? I mean, what if we drain the battery and then we really are screwed? I get up and take a proper look at the car. I need to find the problem. I don't give up hope that I can patch up this junker on my own and get onto the highway. At least to the highway. Probably something had fallen off or cracked when I hit the pothole. The sky finally brightens. The sun is colouring the celestial haze. But the light is lost in the fog and loose clouds. I pull out my supplies. I have no sandwiches left, only water and dog food. It isn't much. I make dog breakfast for Ida, get out of the car and step in a puddle. The realization of the situation literally makes me furious. Holy hell! This can't be happening! I rush to check the engine oil level. There may be a hole somewhere under the hood, and that's from where it leaked out. It probably happened just then, far away on the highway, when we got a big bump. And yesterday we didn't have enough of it to lubricate the engine. That's why that weird sound came out, and that's why we didn't move. But there is still hope that it hadn't been damaged that badly. I rush to the trunk. The canister of engine oil is suspiciously light, and I'd been so hopeful that we might be able to get out of here. What the? That's it? Oh God. I don't want to stay in this forest any longer anyway, so I just poured the leftovers from the bottom and get behind the wheel. I rejoice when the engine starts, and we even drive off, but it's too soon to celebrate. The Gramps lazily burrs for a meter and dies again. Out of despair, I hit the horn as hard as I could, frightening Ida. The dog whimpers and presses her body against the seat. Move! What the heck is wrong with that junk? No answer, only an exhausting silence. I press my palms to my face and groan. I feel like the worst loser in the whole damn world. How did I deserve it? I don't need these mushrooms. I'm such an idiot. I wouldn't have damaged the car if I wasn't for that jerk. Damn, 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 damn! Through the mirror, I glance at the frightened girl. I sigh and calm down. I'm so sorry. I pat her head. We're stuck here. I'll think of something. By the way, I'm hungry. Right, I'll cook my mushrooms. What do you think? Unfortunately, most of the branches I found are too damp, probably because of the dew. Finally, I make a fire out of the rag newspaper and my road map. Okay, maybe that one we shouldn't have burnt. Then I string some mushrooms on a stick, lightly brush them, and finally roast them. I wish there was water somewhere. Everything is dirty. I hope I don't get food poisoning just because I don't wash them. Damn it! Disgusting. Dirty hands, face, hair, even food. There was too little water to waste on washing up. I look like a chimney sweeper, even though I've only been here a day. When the mushrooms are cooked, I begin to eat them, trying to convince myself that junk and motor oil bonfire had killed all the germs. Although a handful of salt would definitely brighten up the shortcomings. It tastes rather peculiar. That's because they're corpse moves. I've told you. But my stomach whines and sucks too much not to fill it with something. Salt would have come in handy. What kind of short-sighted mushroom hunter was I not to take it? I didn't expect to stay in the woods all day though. While I am lost in thought, I don't notice that Ida had brazenly snatched a couple of mushrooms from the other batch I had left over. Drop it, idiot! Off, Ida! I didn't think you'd eat that. Alright then, I hope you don't get sick. We have enough problems already. You know what? We should walk to the highway, catch a car, and talk them into getting our car on a crane. If they make it to the village, we can call a tow truck. And I'll find the network. The idea I had voiced gives me confidence. Yes, I have to move on. Just sitting here isn't going to help. Or as my grandmother used to say, God helps those who help themselves. Is there a chance that I'm being searched? Who's to say that I'm not lying on the couch right now unscrupulously missing work, that I'm not just a slacker. And the longer I stay here, the scarier and stronger seems the forest and this mysterious road, forgotten by all the world. Too many uncanny thoughts creep into my mind. It stirs my imagination and disturbs me with its deliberate mystery. After a quick snack, I grab a bottle of water and my cell phone and head into the thick fog, which is reluctant to disperse, with Ida. We walk in the opposite direction. Soon the damp mist covers our tracks. We should look for an oil trail. Yeah, looks like I had a decent run with a paddled bottom. I should have stopped as soon as we got that bump. Oh, that's right. We haven't even gotten to the mushroom spot yet. Well, now you've got it. Look how far you've come. Chanting to myself and reasoning slightly relax me. This day seems calm, and the silence drives me crazy, squeezing my head. Before I know it, I am starting to miss the chaotic noise of the city, the way it weaves together into a rhythm. I speak out loud, knowing full well that Ida, who is following me, wouldn't say anything but woof, and that's enough. We have been walking for a suspiciously long time. Did I die on the road? Is this my afterlife? We're trying to leave the fog. It just loops us forever. I glance at the greyish-orange cell phone screen. Weird. Could I have taken a wrong turn? How deep did I drive? In the fog, I notice a silhouette. Is that a car? It's my car, isn't it? Stretching my lips into a smile, I almost run to it. Ida scoots forward. But the closer I get, the clearer the picture becomes. It is my car. Grandpa's old Zyguli is standing lonely on the curb. Startled by the discovery, I look around. Panic starts gripping me. Everything is making me dizzy. You know, I've been in this situation before. Back in Little Hope. Turns out that was all an entire delusion. How is that possible? We walked straight and straight and straight and straight. We couldn't get here. Ida, hearing me whimper, comes closer and twirls, her tail wagging. Apparently, she tries to comfort me. The dog nuzzles her nose into my hand. I pat her. It's okay, Ida. Everything will be okay. This time, to test my theory, I decide to walk in the opposite direction. I remember how long we have been walking, so I just hope to get somewhere. There is no escaping the mist. Even if it is a secret lab in the middle of the woods, like in a sci-fi movies, or a gloomy manor with ghouls. The fog lightens, but it still won't go away. Noon is approaching. As we walk, it feels like something is gliding along in the fog this time. I stop and peer in the distance, but every time the suspicious shadow happens to be a tree, or a bush, or some other inconspicuous driftwood. Ida is as quiet as ever before, as if nothing had happened and I'm the only one who is going crazy. And the further I walk, the stranger I feel, as if the veil separating me from reality had been lowered. Loneliness and helplessness come again. I want to believe that this is one long and unpleasant dream. I hope that I am about to see the highway behind another span of concrete road. However, now I see a car. My car. It is still there, as if I had never left this place. What the hell is this? Left or right is all the same. How? I sit on the ground. Ida snuggles up to me, soothingly poking her nose into my jacket. My gaze shifts to the forest. No, I'm not going there, no way. Maybe someone will notice that I'm not home. Maybe they'll find us. Ida, what should I do? I hugged the dog and took my face into her soft fur. Hush, hush, I'm not crying anymore. Collecting myself, I get up and walk to the car. I can try pushing it, but what's the point? We're locked in here. I'm not going into the woods. What if we get lost and no one finds us? We will wander around for the rest of eternity, no food, no water. I've got nothing but a goddamn lighter, this wreck, and a knife. I kick the wheel of my car, then again and again, taking out my anger and despair. You okay, Pop? My breakdown scared Ida, so she is now growling at me. What? Why are you barking? Shut up! Oh, I didn't mean that. You bark at me all you like. Ida droops her tail and ears, dropping her muddy belly to the ground. Now she meekly waits for all of my steam to come out. What else can she do? What can I do? I am thirsty again. The walk had taken so long that it's already lunchtime. It is that strange feeling when the day flows by, but it feels like it has been going on forever. I pull out a bucket of mushrooms and begin to pick through them. Surprisingly, I find only a few worms. The monotonous work distracts me from thinking about the bones, about the scary noises in the forest at night, about the shadows between the trees, about the invisible gaze staring at me. The thought flashes through my mind. What if I am watched right at this moment? My hands start shaking. I turn around while cutting a worm out of the mushroom, and before I know it, I cut myself. Ouch! Ah, damn it! I pressed my cut finger to my lips. The burst becomes unbearable. The warm, salty blood in the most delicious thing I've tasted in the last 24 hours, not counting the sandwiches I ate yesterday. The trail left my tongue suddenly seemed rancid, and then outright disgusting. The water I still have is not to be touched. The thirst grows harder, either out of frustration or an empty stomach. I still hope the fog will clear soon. What if I was wandering down a road I hadn't noticed the first place? What if I just lost my way in broad daylight, as they say? But I'm not going to leave my car for now. Meanwhile, hunger is clutching at my stomach. When Ida asks for food, I give up altogether. The smell of dog food seems more mouth-watering than anything else in the world, but I don't dare to touch the last treasure. Who knows? Maybe the dog will be the last beacon of hope for salvation. Mushrooms are waiting for me. I roast a new portion on a fire made of whatever I could find. A rag soaked in gasoline, pieces of newspapers, dried sticks. All of it make a dark, unpleasant smoke rise. But I manage to warm up well while I fry the food. I sit and imagine what it would taste like at home after being cooked on my stove. Once again, twilight descends unnoticed. It's as if the day is shorter than usual. I had stopped keeping track of time. The place is driving me crazy. After filling my stomach, I settle inside the car with Ida. Just in case, I check if the network is up, but nothing, and the battery promises to run out. Well, I did warn you when you decided to play Snake. Now, I can't pass a sleepless night by wasting the battery on a silly game. I once again blame myself for my negligence. Half a day more, and my cell phone will shut down. To banish my anxiety and sadness, I turn on the radio and try to catch a broadcast. White noise. The longer I listen, the more I think I hear something more. I pull the antenna out through the half-open window, and then the radio begins to crackle and squeal. The sound is so creepy that it makes my hair stand on the end. Okay, I'm gonna say it now. This is a bad idea. I've seen the white noise movies. We do not want to be dealing with whatever is on the other side. It is not there to help us. It sounds like the roar and howl of 1,000 creepy, supernatural creatures. Ida frightens me even more with her loud barking. Irritated, I silence the device. It's no use. It's all useless. Is it now broken too? Damn it! I don't want to change the batteries in the radio with the ones I kept in the flashlight. I have to use the power wisely. And what would be the point anyway? And also, perhaps the light could give me some peace or hope. But really, should I light up the dark? I suppose not. A mere thought of facing my fears makes me shake in fear. My biggest fear now is to see what I expect to see. I also never thought the darkness could be so terrifying and terribly enclosing like it is now, like a wall inside a crypt. I try to calm down and go to bed so I can face morning sooner. Will I ever see this morning at all? The thought races through my head. Fear clouds my head. It pulses through my body in a cold wave. Terror shakes me from the inside. I panic. The dim hope of getting out of the thick darkness of the woods embraces my heart, and its pounding deafens me, squeezes and jumbles my thoughts. We must get out. Now! I throw off the blanket, grab the flashlight, and jump outside, unable to endure it at all. I know, Pop, we are making a bad decision. Let's go, now. Come here. The dog doesn't move, continuing to lie and look at me. In the meantime, my anxiety is growing and my knees are shaking. It seems that if I stay any longer, I won't be able to move. I can feel the cold chains under my skin, like icy, ghostly hands. They are trying to wrap around my head. I've got no time for it. I pull the dog up, take her in my arms, and go wherever my legs carry me with my flashlight. The darkness covers everything now, and the dim beam flickers beneath my feet, preventing me from stumbling. The trail merges into a kaleidoscope of grey. Dry grass flutters and mingles with the stone slabs, swallowed by the haze. To top it all off, tears cloud my eyes. My breath is completely out of whack. I don't know where I am going. My legs are simply carrying me forward. The flashlight stumbles over a branching thing that hisses its tentacles in heart flight, and it moves toward me. Something rumbles and bristles with a growing rumble. A cacophony of sounds disturbs my ears. Losing my nerve, I run back to the car, sobbing like a child. I tried to cut through the noise with my own screams. The dog in my hands squirms. It seems I am just carrying a heavy club of fur, which only whimpers pathetically in response. There really is someone in the woods, and that someone had killed all those people. There in the thicket lay the remains of a demonic feast. Of course it would kill me too. It would strangle me or rip me apart with its branchy paws. Fear drives me to hide somewhere. It is the only thing that goes through my mind over and over again. The thought of myself or Ida being torn apart sends a cold sweat through me and shakes me to the bone. Once inside, I lock all the doors, make sure the windows are closed so no creepy monster can grab us. I pull up the blinds on the back window so I can make sure no one can see us from behind. We, my dog and I, are locked up here in a small car box cut off from the outside world, with no communication. I can't call anyone or ask for help. How long are we going to look for us? It is a question I am so afraid of not getting an answer to. My throat goes dry and I cough. My hands, which are choked, don't stop shaking. Ida lurches beside me, but my coughing marks her squeeze into the seat. I look for a water bottle, but find nothing but an empty bag and a flashlight. Where is it? Oh no, 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 no! I left it on the hood! Idiot, 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 idiot! I don't know how else I can help myself. I take a handful of mushrooms and try to squeeze their liquid onto my tongue. They no longer have that spicy, pleasant, fresh smell. Rancid droplets roll down my throat. Without a refrigerator, they would probably start to spoil very soon in the bucket. Still, I grab some of them and munch on dog food to break up the disgusting taste. Really? Dog food is not disgusting? And what's that poor dog gonna eat? Ida comes closer to me and puts her furry head on my lap. Everything will be okay, as long as you are with me. Sleep is out of the question. I try not to look outside, but it is almost impossible. There are 5 open windows and the backs of the seat that don't hide them anyway. I huddle in the seat, wrapping myself in the blanket. The helplessness takes over with greater force. I try neither to listen nor to stare. But it seems as if my brain is playing with me. Whose sounds are those? Who is wandering around? What monster trapped us? I realize it has been a long time since I have heard birdsong or wild animals. Only the endless rustling and crackling and humming. Gradually, my body softens and grows heavy with fatigue. I feel grafted to the seat, unable to move. I must have fallen asleep, but it all feels too real. My body is cooling, and it's pierced with needles from my back. Thousands and thousands of needles. Trying to move doesn't help at all. I feel sewn up into the seat with thin threads. Any movement gives off a stagnant pain, like white noise. I feel as if I am burrowing my fingers into the ground, lying somewhere in a damp forest, in place of a skeleton from the thicket. Am I dying? Something rustles nearby, and then something wet touches my cheek. I open my eyes. Aw, hi there, good girl. We barely survived the night. It's Ida. She'd unpacked the bag of dog food and now is insistently waking me up. Delighted at my awakening, she scrabbles lazily through the door, but as much as she wants to, I can't let her out. I look outside and see the same landscape covered in a grey haze. It is like yesterday, but darker. How long was I sleeping? Did I sleep at all? Maybe it was just a dream. A dream? My eyes and throat feel like they are covered with sand. The curse of this place enmeshes me, sucking out my strength and sanity. Any dehydration is fueling my despair. But even so, it is still too scary to go outside. I am not ready. Ida apathetically lies beside me, looking at me sadly, knowing that her owner is not going anywhere. She feels just as sick as I do, and she can't drink water from the mushrooms. I try to push myself forward. My body stiffens, like my bones are really stuck to the seat. My hands are barely able to move. I reach for the bucket. It seems that dusk is already falling. Is it evening already? I pull out my phone and try to turn it on, but in vain. I can't even track on the time. I look at Ida. The poor girl is curled up in a corner, barely breathing. But suddenly, I hear a knock from outside, a disturbing and aggressive one, as if someone is walking on the roof. I press myself back into the seat. Oh, they are everywhere! A distinct 5-fingered footprint slams into the glass, and one more time, and one more. They stick to the window with a distinctive clang, and then disappear for only another one to come in its place. Aha! The beast moves forward. I can almost feel it as it lands right above my head, pushing through the roof. It is just about to touch me. I pull Ida closer to me. Go away. Please, go away. What did we do to you? Go away. Tears are rolling down my cheeks. I keep repeating and repeating the pleas like a mantra, hoping it would get away. It isn't real. It is not real. It will stop very soon. Let it be a dream. I snuggle up to Ida and burrow into the fur, hiding my nose from the monster who is groping the car. I still can't break the window. That is the only thing that calms me down. I try to convince myself that we are safe inside. No one can get in. Am I hiding under the covers playing house with the bedside monster as if I am a child? All of a sudden, it starts jerking the knob. It desperately wants to get inside. However, the door does not open. And it stops as suddenly as it had begun, as if nothing had happened. I sigh nervously and mumble to release the tension. I don't have the strength to sob anymore. All I want now is to feel the warmth of my dear Ida, to make sure she is still here with me, alive. I touch her dirty but soft fur and run my trembling fingers over it. Then I attempt to put my hands under her belly and cuddle her again. I wish it was just a dream. I want to lie like this with you on a soft bed. And when I touch her belly, I think something very strange. It is budding with swollen tumors. The dog suddenly growls and bites me. What? When did you get infected? Is this because you ate the mushrooms? Am I infected as well? Ah, it hurts! Ida, what's wrong? I stare at her bare teeth. The pain in my arm throbs. Instead of a cheerful and sweet friend, I see an aggressive stranger. The real Ida would never bite me. I don't take my eyes off this dog, which huddles in the corner and snarls at me viciously, bristling. Big fangs, demonic eyes. The spots on its fur are dancing. Okay. Either you're like a changeling or something that's impostoring my dog, or I'm just tripping my head off right now from eating those mushrooms. I'm hoping for the changeling, to be honest. It is as if evil is bursting out of her, taking over her mind, making her growl so aggressively. I throw my blanket at her and grab my knife, cramping it against the opposite door. I have to push Ida outside to keep her from attacking me. The worst option is to plunge the blade into her soft body. When did I lose my best friend? On a walk? Or is it that night when it had possessed her? My paranoia gives me more and more ideas, but isn't it evident the poor girl is too hungry? Is she hungry enough to eat her owner? Ah! The dog keeps tangling her paws in the fabric, still growling. I quickly open the window and push her out with the blanket. Tears burn my cheeks with icy shards. Instead of moans, my throat lets out a wheezing sound that hardly sounds like words. Ida! Sorry. I'm so sorry. I twist the window handle to the limit as the creature I abandoned barks and claws at the door. I should have left her. I should have left her home. Now she's gone. She's gone. I press my ears to a tightening pain. No. Stop. Stop whining. Shut up. The dog doesn't stop. Her voice grows more and more pitiful, more and more natural and whiny. Maybe I'm going crazy. Ida? Sorry, but I can't. I want to open the door, apologize, hug her, kiss her behind the ear, but fear grips my whole body. I try to ignore the whining and barking. Oh God, I killed her. We're both going to die here. Damn. While I am cursing myself, the creature stops bothering me. It finally gets quiet. It stops imitating Ida. I can take a little break. After a nervous breakdown, exhausted as a zombie, I begin to cram myself with mushrooms that are already stinking. Some of them are rotten, and some are with worms. I don't care anymore. I am thirsty and hungry. If I could suck up water from them, I would do it. My tongue feels nothing anymore. It is tingling and dry, and those damn mushrooms are the only thing I have. I search for hope, beg for rescue. One way or another, I want to survive. Maybe I'll start a new life. It's a valuable lesson that I must learn. In solitude, moments from the past flash through my mind. It is so gross and frustrating, my whole world turned grey, mirrored with stinky haze of everyday life. Does it take a person to fall to the bottom for them to finally turn their nose up to the sky and see the ladder? I am gnawed by guilt. It is pointing at me with a dry palm, as if saying, now you can't reach it. Now you can't fix it. There is one thing I can fix right now, but no matter how much I want to go after Ida, I can't bring myself to do it. Immediately I see it, hidden between the trees, staring at me with its empty eye sockets. What if Ida is in the hands of it? I can't save her, and I can't save myself. We won't be saved. It's dark again. Without a watch, it's hard to keep track of time. It flows unevenly, now in torrents, then in painful slow drops. Do I really believe that I've been here for a few days? What if more? The longer I stay here, the more I feel throbbing fever followed by icy goosebumps, the thirst and hunger eating away at my insides. An annoying itch rolls over my skin. Sometimes it feels as if small worms are running around. I itch and bite myself to no avail. The deceiving safety locked me up in the sticky car. I firmly believe that no one would dare get through the thin layers of metal and upholstery. That Grandpa's spirit would keep me safe, and my grandmother would help him. This metal coffin had saved me from the unknown creature, so it would probably keep me from predators as well. My lovely crypt. Everything around me fades and dissolves into a pitch-dark mass. I can't see my own hand in front of my face. Maybe I should turn on the headlights. A sudden realization inspired me to take action again. Is it hope or madness? Yes. How will they find me if I don't give any signal? They should be looking for me right now. They should be. I didn't go to work. I didn't call Layuda. Everyone should know by now that I'm lost. I have to give them a clue. I turn on the headlights. The yellowish light dazzles me at first, and even though I feared it would immediately touch some frightening, the rays are already cutting through the darkness. I sit in the back seat with my knees tucked in, peering out into the darkness beneath my feet. I'm not ready to see what stands behind the glass, even after the desperate action. There is nothing else for me to do but wait and be quiet, as if I'm not here at all. I hear heavy footsteps outside. Perhaps the forest spirit itself has come to me. A massive silhouette stands in front of the headlights, staring right at me. I am too afraid to look up, but I have to see it. I hope it's just a wild animal. I hope there are still normal animals living here. I want to see hope. I slowly start looking up. It's a moose, but I don't think that's normal. I am watched by a terrifying creature. Unreal but distinct. So disgusting that I clung to my memory. The skull with huge gaping eye sockets, sprawling horns of strange irregular shape, and body entirely covered with some kind of outgrowths. Fungi? We stare at each other. Its gaze is painfully squeezing my gut. Is it the look I have been feeling and fearing all this time? I am sure it seems right through me, my ugly, pathetic soul. And the longer it goes on, the longer I stare at it, the more sickening lump rises in my throat. The creature doesn't go away. It keeps staring, denouncing my sins, silently urging me to a monologue. Finally, the most painful thought enters my head. Can it be that my life was meaningless? Am I meaningless? The past doesn't matter anymore, as I'm awaited by such a vile, lonely end. It stares at the traitor who had left her most precious treasure, Ida. Dizziness blurs my vision. I feel so sick and nauseated, and for a moment, the feelings once forcibly silenced reappear. I'm taken over by the awfulness of everything that surrounds me. My smell of a dead man left in an apartment in the dirt. I begin to vomit so badly that I think I will suffocate and die a ridiculous death right in front of this monster. So absurd and ridiculous that I would die because of my own stupidity in this lovely crypt. And this thing is mocking me. I can't see anything anymore. The outlines are blurred. I am shaking and vomiting. Suddenly, I feel soft lumps growing all over my body. I grab onto one of them and try to tear it off. They cover the bite mark, my scratches and abrasions with tiny hats, an itch under my throat, showing up as painful bumps. I feel rough warts on my fingers. Mushrooms! What did I tell you about them growing from corpses? I rip them off myself one by one. It hurts. Some don't come off at all, and some come off splattering blood. I grab the knife to cut them off. Am I cursed? Am I cursed because I went into this goddamn forest? I don't want to die. I did nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I am almost drowning in my own tears. The pain merges into a single agony, and my body can't take it anymore. My hands don't listen to me anymore. They are numb. My whole body is frozen, and the darkness covers my eyes. I wish for nothing more than to wake up at home, for this to turn out to be a nightmare. I don't know if it is a dream, or how long I've been like this, chained to the seat, but I am still conscious. I can still talk to myself in my head. I can understand that I still feel something beside the dulling pain all over my body. And then, again, there's a blackout. It's like I'm living in episodes. I pass out and wake up again, shackled by weakness and helplessness. At some moments, I glimpse at the grey sky, the bushes and trees, the hood of the car. Sometimes I walk along the concrete road, reach the car again and again, and wander endlessly. And then I vomit and pass out again. Did I really get out? I think I did. But in the moments when my mind is awakened, I find myself still in the same position, completely drained and powerless. I am confused. Dream and reality are getting mixed in some peculiar, wild way. A new reality. After another blackout, fresh air gradually fills my lungs. My ears catch a familiar soft ringing of the drops. A pleasant clattering sound echoes from all sides. When I open my eyes, I see the water dripping down the glass, and the ozone-flavored air finally filters into the stinky cabin through the ventilation system. I let myself take a full breath. Even though my body aches and my eyes and mouth feel like they are covered in sand, I force myself to get up. Rain! I put my hand to the glass to make sure it is real. Each drop is followed by a pleasant chill. I want to go outside so badly, and I finally find the desire to escape again. Is this rain a sky sign for me? And in response, thirst burned my dry throat. If I have to choose, I want to die in the rain. I can't take it anymore. I can't. If I'm going to die, that's the only way. I try to open the door, but my fingers don't bend and slip. Even such a simple action now seems impossible. All I can do is to turn the knob. With the window lowered, I look outside and breathe in the fresh air with pleasure. A pleasure after so much torture. I want to cry, but it feels as if I already cried out all the tears. Whoa, they're even growing from my face now. I pull myself up and roll over the door with my shaking hands, catching the water with my tongue. Nice large drops touch me, washing away the dust and dirt, taking away my anxiety. I am ready to dissolve in this blissful rain. I close my eyes and catch the water with my tongue, holding on as hard as I can. I want more. I reach for the water, yielding to greed as suddenly as my hands fail me. Falling over the window, I collapse onto the wet concrete. My head is spinning. A sharp pain pierces my flaccid, heavy body, from the back of my head to my neck, and from my elbows to my fingertips. My gaze rests on the thick, dark clouds. The downpour comes with renewed force, and all the tenderness is now gone. The drops feel like they were pounding in, scratching me, penetrating me. The heat mingles with the cold. I twist. I try to roll over or to stand up. Something inside squeezes my throat, blocking my breath. I wheeze and claw. I grasp for air, drowning in a fit of new agony. I am being torn apart, piece by piece. I can feel my veins splitting, but I can't breathe in, or exhale, or scream. It is as if the air is now saturated with a scalding, painful poison, and my insides are exposed. Every nerve in my body feels this murderous abuse. My brain refuses to shut down, even as the scarlet, throbbing veil covers my eyes. Unbearable. How long will this go on? My thoughts are bogged down in a sticky mass, like another nightmare that's unbearably hard to escape. It is hard to believe this is really happening. Why does God keep tormenting me? I feel like the whole world is mocking me. I stop moving. I try to breathe again. It is hard, but I manage to do it. Had I experienced some kind of seizure? Or was it an attack from an invisible beast? Some philosopher said, I think, therefore I am. Maybe it's not the time to lose hope yet. I touch the concrete road. It's wet. I feel what appears to be grass. A wheel. Leaning against the slippery car, I forced my knees to bend and lift my body. A window. Clinging to the secure support, I stand on cotton, painful legs that seem so brittle, as if my bones are about to crumble. If I take a step, I'll break. I will definitely break. It seems I squeezed my eyes shut again. Then I open my eyelids. My eyes are blurry, like I have a bag over my head. What did I do just now? Did I do anything? I'm so cold. Cold. The road. I have to walk on the road. Walk. It hurts to walk. It hurts. It hurts. Ida! You alive? Ida! Sweet, lovely Ida! I open my mouth, but what is that wheezing? Do I always talk like that? Cold. Ida, I'm cold. Epilogue. The rain comes down like a wall. The autumn forest turns grey and looks especially heavy under the clouds. The dark asphalt road cuts through it. Once in a while, an occasional car drives along this thick vein. And this time, the ladder, rubbing water with the wipers, is racing, clearly exceeding the speed limit. I died, didn't I? That car ran me off the road. Wait, I don't remember it raining though, so maybe not. There are 2 people inside, a husband and a wife. They listen to the radio blaring through the rain, serene and careless. The artist sings about cheating and love to a corny tune until the white noise begins. The signal is bad in this part of the woods. They turn off the stereo. Just like that, in silence, the couple watches the road. A tense atmosphere quickly grips both of them. It is as if all thoughts and feelings are interrupted by the pounding of the raindrops and the engine, as if they have radios installed inside their heads. The weather is also not setting the mood, and still, the husband asks something. The woman answers, first in a single word, and then quite loudly, drawing her husband's attention to herself. At that moment, her eyes narrow. What is that? Where? He shifts his gaze as well. He starts to slow down, but the road is too slippery because of the downpour. They both see a humanoid figure in the middle of the road. Oh, okay, I didn't die in the crash, but I think I have now. Roughly swerving the steering wheel to the screams of his wife, the man crashes in. The body falls on the hood, spreading awkwardly in front of the audience. You hit her! You hit her! Ah! Don't you yell! I see it myself! God damn! Is she alive? Yeah, go out and take a look. No, you hit her! You should look! Oh, I am alive. Their quarrel is interrupted by a palm, which is pressed into a web of glass. The washed out, dead eyes fix on the woman, then turn sharply on the man. A moment later, a shriek echoes through the car. The creature stands up in an unnatural manner and reaches for the door, as if it knows what to do. The husband tries to start the engine and hit the gas pedal, but to no avail. Perhaps the key is stuck, or the engine wasn't in check. His wife shakes him by the shoulder, repeating, "Hurry up! What are you doing? Hurry up!" But that doesn't help the situation one bit. And while they are trying, the creature smashes the window with its fist. The glass shatters into tiny crumbs and partially hangs, covered in many cracks. A clammy, bloodless hand grabs the husband by the collar and pulls him out of the sharply. His head smashes the windshield, leaving a trail of blood. She hits him again and again. Oh, I've become the monster of the forest. It drags the man through the window into the wet asphalt. The woman is frozen in horror, watching as something in the guise of a mutilated and misshapen girl brutally smashes the head of her husband into the ground. She summons all her courage and opens the door, hoping to push the girl away, to do something, to save him. She jumps out of the car, but her attempts to kick the creature in the head or unclench its arms are fruitless. The girl claws at her like prey, like a predator, unresponsive to pain. The man no longer shows any sign of life, and the monster turns to the woman. It is too late for her to flee. The echoes of wheezes and cries fill the place, and it continues for a while, until finally, the rain drowns out the 2 souls for good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of Locked Up. And now we've discovered what happens when you look into the eye of a mutilated, distorted moose god. You apparently become the creatures of the forest yourself. I've just got a question. Is our dog also infected now? Are we a tag team? If you've enjoyed this playthrough, then why not subscribe to this channel? I would greatly appreciate it. But other than that, I hope you have a spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.